Welcome back. This shirt pretty much says it all. Pretty much every coach on our staff could wear this. I just told my buddy, I did not wake up mad today. Apathy's here. It's here for me. I'm embracing apathy. I suggest you do the same because it ain't worth getting mad anymore. We have, and this was posited by many Knoll podcasts from guys that have been covering FSU for 10, 15 years. Before the season even started, they let us know this is one of the least talented FSU's rosters in a long time, right? Which is why most of us had expectations of bowl game would be nice. But now you combine the shitty talent with shitty coaching, and here we are 0-3 for the first time since 1976. Like last week, there's no sugarcoating this. There's no spinning it. This video is going to be really short. I'm just going to tell y'all to don't stop being a fan, but don't, waste a Saturday getting pissed. I had a bunch of friends over yesterday, and beginning of the fourth quarter, I changed the game. Nobody said a word. Either because they didn't care or they didn't notice. 6 turnovers yesterday. 6. We're nearly dead last in the FBS in penalties. Right? Which, weren't we there just a couple of years ago under Willie? And I'm not going to bring Willie up. Whatever. He shouldn't be here. And right now, Mike's and his staff are showing they shouldn't be here. 6 turnovers, the penalties. Just pure buffoonery, one thing after the next. There was one moment during the game where I had to go into our bedroom, and I could hear my friends still watching in the living room, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have a TV on in the room I was in, and just hearing the type of things they were saying, it just gave me mental images of of more clownery must have been occurring while I was away from the living room TV. It was just play after play. I could hear their frustration and jokes, and it was just like, well, I guess I'm not missing much. Gee, we're still pathetic. I'm not missing anything. The only thing we can really might want to talk about is, do you fire Norvell? You don't. And that's not because I think he deserves a chance, right? I think I said this last week. I'm still in that camp. It'd be a bigger disservice to fire a fucking another coach, to go through a third coach in like 4 years. Like, we will become a wasteland. So unfortunately, we are stuck with Mike, and forget the whole money issue with having 2 buyouts and then having to pay another new coach. But unfortunately, we just have to hold our fucking noses and hope Mike turns it around during his contract. If he doesn't, which it's hard to believe he will at this point, then goodbye. But I don't think he's going anywhere, and I don't think he should go anywhere, because we will become, it's hard to imagine sinking lower than where we are right now, but it's possible. It's possible. And who would we get? Who would come right now if we fired him? I think every coach should generally get 4 seasons, right? That way they're first class or seniors the time they're in their last year of the contract, right? But also there's some nuance to it. Like, if you're going to fire a coach, not even after 2 seasons like they did with Willie, and I didn't think Willie was the guy, so I wasn't sad to see him go. Like, both can be true. I didn't think he was the guy, and firing someone less than 2 seasons, probably not smart. And this has been said before on another podcast, and it's true. If you're going to do that, pull the pin out on a coach 21 games in, you better get your first fucking choice. And we know that didn't happen, right? We flirted with Stoops. We flirted with Franklin, Matt Campbell from Iowa State. So at best, Norvell was likely the 4th choice. Here's where we are. And we have no choice but to hold our nose and hopefully turns around. What is he going to do going forward? Well, we've seen this scenario, right? It's year 2. We're probably going to see coordinators' heads roll whether it's in season or after the season, to me, you probably have to wait till the end of the season. After signing day, probably. Like, if you get rid of Dillingham, and I'd actually have to look. If you get rid of Dillingham and Fuller, what recruits would you lose? So I'll take that back. I'd first have to see if there's any elite recruits that are really attached to Dillingham and Fuller. I don't think there's a ton of them off the top of my head, but I know, especially Fuller, right? I don't recall his recruiting prowess. You know, he sucks on the field. I think he's pretty shitty off of it too. But I'd have to see who Dillingham's tied to. But if there's a chance, and there probably would be a chance, you fire a coordinator or two in season, a class that's already going to deteriorate because of the product on the field probably gets worse when you get rid of coordinators in season. So, and it sucks. It's like pulling out the rug from kids. But if you're going to fire a coordinator, and they should definitely at least fire Fuller, right? I'd like to see Marv go. He sucks, the linebackers coach. Dillingham, I wouldn't care to. I don't even know how to judge him right now. But I wouldn't shed a tear if he was fired. Odell, love you, buddy. You need to go. There's only a few coaches I'd keep. Like, I don't mind our special teams coach and DN coach, Papuchis. Obviously, I think Atkins, I mean, his recruiting alone should keep him here. Obviously, Mike's not going anywhere, like I said. So if we're talking just assistants, Woodson, keep Woodson to keep Hunter. Maybe 3 assistants, I would be like, yeah, they can stay. Otherwise, most of them I could care less if they stay or go. And, you know, Fuller definitely needs to go. But I don't think you pull that trigger until the end of the year because of recruiting, which sucks because I'd love to see it happen now. Like, if we were not 0-3, if we were like 2-1 and had a team that could actually maybe be any kind of good, maybe we fire that deficiency like Fuller. Like, hey man, we're 2-1. We're trying to take the next step to get to 8 or 9 wins or something, but you're holding us back. You're gone. But obviously we're not that team. We're 0-3. So like, what are we in a rush for to fire the coordinators and disrupt the recruiting class that's likely already going to tank a little bit because of our fucking record? So hopefully, crossing fingers, we see the changes we want to see by the end of the year, which is a long fucking wait. I wish we could fast forward, but I think that's going to be the deal. We're going to have to wait, and Mike's going to have to do it, right? And it sucks because you know what happens next, right? The head coach fires coordinators, gets new ones, and if the team still sucks, year 3, year 4, then guess what? Now you're gone, dude. And then we start all over again. Yay! Anyways, that's it. That's all. Really short. I wasn't breaking down the game or anything like that. Just kind of my state of mind after, another embarrassing loss, being 0-3 for the first time since Bobby Bowden's first year in 1976. All I can say is embrace the suck. I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.